They call him the Thomas Edison of our times. He has a way of sending rockets soaring, but can he ground runaway spending? Because Donald Trump has some big plans for Elon Musk. They say mother knows best, so maybe get her take on all of this. Maye Musk, the supermodel, kind enough to join us, best-selling author. Maye, very good to have you back with us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Happy
to be back.
Happy to have you. Your son is being sort of groomed for something big in a potential Trump White House. Has he told you exactly what that would be?
I just see it all on X. He says what he's going to be doing, and he's going to just get rid of people who are not working or don't have a job or not doing a job well, just like he did on Twitter. And I think he has 10% of the staff, and it's better than ever. So he can do it for the government too.
Has he always been a conservative? I mean, obviously, we see in recent years the affinity now for Donald Trump, but a number of issues he's taken up on X, as have you. Are these his true colors?
Well, we were all Democrats, registered Democrats, and we've all changed, you know, because when he bought, especially when he bought Twitter, and then we saw the Twitter files, all the corruption and dishonesty from the government, it was horrifying. And so, you know, then you say you can't vote for people who are dishonest and malicious. And we had to move to Republican. And of course, all the media was saying Republican bad, you know, Trump bad. But then they would also say that the liberal press would still say Elon is bad. And I kept on thinking, why are they saying that? They're lying about Elon, but they're not lying about the others. And of course, Fox News bad. And we've just had our minds blown, and we realize that the only way to save America is to vote Republican.
Now, you had an experience, I guess you were voting in New York and were surprised when you voted in New York that you needed no ID.
No.
And you had said after that, I believe these remarks have since gone down, Maye, so you can correct me on that. Earlier you said the Democrats have given us another option. You don't have to register to vote. On Election Day, have 10 fake names, go to 10 polling booths and vote 10 times. That's 100 votes, and it's not illegal. Maybe we should work the system too. I think you have disavowed that, or maybe you can update me.
Well, the thing is, if you don't have to have ID, actually my Canadian friends are going to go and vote because they don't have to have ID. And I don't know if they really are, but they can vote at every booth if they want to, because no ID, you can just vote. And so that's very scary that they would not look at my ID in New York.
Interesting. And from that experience, what did you take away?
Well, I could take away that if I was dishonest, I could go to every booth in every polling station in New York and vote, or even go back to the same one every hour.
You're a very powerful woman in your own right, very successful model in your own right, and the Musk name is nothing to do with that. But I do wonder, when you hear this criticism coming from the likes of Mark Cuban and others of Donald Trump, that he's uncomfortable around powerful women. Seems to have a lot of powerful women around him, no matter what you think of him or those women. So you and your son have no doubt talked about that. What did you make of it?
Well, I don't have to talk to Elon about that because I've always felt like I'm a strong woman. I am a doctor of dietetics. I have 2 Master of Science degrees. And I travel the world speaking at universities and corporations on not only nutrition and health, but also on entrepreneurship, because many medical professionals are not good at that. And so that's my real job, but I've become a supermodel since I turned 70. So at 76, I think I have 12 front covers in the last 6 months, which is not something I thought could happen.
You know, I've heard as a mom and in your book, and we last chatted, that You know, you wanted your kids to pursue their dreams and do what they did, but you held them to a very high standard. And I wonder, seeing the success of your son and your other two children as well, is there a formula for that? Because a lot of people, a lot of parents who worry about their own kids today and whether they'll achieve what they've achieved, the vast majority of parents today fear their kids will not. What do you say?
Yeah, they had to be quite independent because I worked very long hours, and sometimes I had 5 jobs, 5 part-time jobs, day and night. And so they had to make their own decisions and also assist me and be good kids. So they decided what they wanted to do. They could have. I was a research officer at the medical faculty in the University of Toronto, so they could have come there for free if they studied something in the medical field. And they said, no, they're going to go their own way. So I said, well, you're on your own. You get your own loans, you got scholarships or whatever, and they all graduated with $100,000 in debt. I was in a rent-controlled apartment trying to survive, and they had to be responsible for themselves, and they did it.
That's pretty impressive. They seem to be doing pretty well, May, as are you.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Good seeing you again.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page. This is the only way that I know for sure that you're not going to miss any great commentary, any great news bites, any great interviews coming your way on Fox. You can get it all here on YouTube. So subscribe right now.